Hello, welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and boxing capital of the world. And of course, we have so many different people from all walks of life that come to the show to talk about their specialties. I want to welcome again my co-host Shelly Stevens. And today we have none other than Julie and Michael and Nitti at a motivational speaker. So, Michael, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself. People are saying motivational speaker, that's an important position to be in. What is it that you get to motivate people about what?
Well, you know, it's funny. I have been called a motivational speaker because that's what I think the genre expects it to be if you're going to get out there and inspire people.
Okay.
But for me, it's mostly about coaching people and consulting with people to figure out what's stopping them from taking it to the next level.
We need people like you in boxing. Go ahead.
That's what it's about. I think I had mentioned I was talking to somebody who was like a young man who's already risen quite high in MMA, and but he just can't get out of that thought pattern that there's something keeping him from going further.
Wow.
So it's not about skill. It's not about what they already know how to bring to the party. It's that. So I work on disappearing that from inside people's psychology, whatever it would be that's stopping them from being all they can be.
Yeah, but let me tell you, me growing up in New York City from a single-parent home, I was 15 years old when I started going to the Boys Club of New York with the boxing. And my people say, Joe, you're too damn skinny. I was like 110 pounds, 16 years old. They said, you can't do nothing in boxing. And then my brother already had started a year or two before me, just fighting at the Boys Club. And then we said, let's join the Golden Gloves that we both joined together in 1960. Would you believe that 1 year after I started training, I won my first Golden Glove championship in Madison Square Garden with over 16,000 fans there, my brother Mike and I both. And I said, wow, that was my first, and I tell you, I kept on saying to myself, I'm not going to doubt myself anymore, even though everybody said, Joe, you can't do that. You can't make it. I mean, come on, look at you. You don't have the body, the frame of a fighter. That same year, I won another Spanish Golden Glove championship. Then the following year, I came back. My brother Mike and I again came back. We won the open division at 118 pounds. But that was a good year, 1961. Because that was the year that one night after winning the New York Open Golden Glove championship, then we had to fight for the Eastern Golden Glove championship. And you have to start believing in yourself when you get to that level. If you don't believe in yourself, you're going to be a loser, You got to say, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Well, Madison Square Garden, I got to the semifinals and finals. So what happened, you had to fight twice the same night in Madison Square Garden. Twice. Okay? So I knocked out my opponent, my brother Mike. These guys are all champions for Eastern Golden Glove Championship. So these fighters were all a champion from their respective state. I won the first fight by knockout. My brother came back 2 fights after me. He won by knockout. I said, wow. I came back my second fight that night. And up to this day, people still checking to see I knocked out my second opponent, two knockouts the same night in Madison Square Garden. And people say, who the hell has knocked out two guys in Madison Square Garden? Muhammad Ali's fought in there, Joe Louis, Rocky Marciano. You name all the great fighters fought in that ring, but nobody's knocked out two guys the same night. Even though it's a national Eastern Golden Glove Championship, but I did it. But that's talking about believing in yourself, being positive. I've always thought that way.
I don't
care what it is. Open the door for me a little bit, that's all I need. Open the door a little bit, I get in, because I believe I can do anything.
I love it.
I've been in law enforcement, I've been in the medical field, I've been in the hospitality business, at the high levels. And I thought that because I believe in myself that I can do it. And I tell people out there, you got to believe in yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, something is wrong. You got to get to a guy like Michael and Nitti who can coach you to be the right way. We need coaches like him.
That was beautiful. That's just amazing stuff. But notice you had it inside of you already because we all do. Mm-hmm. We all do. But so few people are able to bring it fully to the party. Yeah. Sometimes it's maybe like if somebody says, you'll never do that or you're too small. Yeah. Now, sometimes that clicks it right away. Yeah. And you say, oh, yeah, watch this. Now, maybe you had a little bit of that. You weren't going to take any of that, and you're going to show them. But still, you still took what you already have inside you, which we all do, the ability to step up, be magnificent, step beyond what maybe you think you can do, and you just don't refuse to give up.
Yeah, when I became a referee, people say, Joe, what do you know about refereeing? I said, well, I know a little bit about ring mechanics, moving around the ring. Maybe that's a good start for me. So I started working with the Police Athletic League. They got me started in that. People say, Joe, that's a tough job to have, be a referee. Well, my dream was to do one world title fight. One. And 5 years after I turned pro, they gave me Aaron Pryor and Miguel Montilla in Atlantic City in 1982. That was my first world title fight.
That's tough.
And when I retired, 2012, September 2012, I retired with 176 World Championship fights.
That's so
So,
cool.
you know, I said to myself, you got to believe in yourself. You know, it was pay it forward. Like I retired, people say, you miss it? No, I don't miss it. I did 35 years. In my 25th year, I told my family, I said, 10 more years, I'm out here. 35 years, I'm out. So it so happens that in my 34th year, I got inducted into the International Hall of Fame. And then in my 35th year, I said, I'm out. I went out with Canelo Alvarez, Josecito Lopez fight here at MGM Hotel. So I believed in myself. I believe in that I can do it. But now I look at all the referees. You guys can do it too, just like I did. You know, I try to teach them how I did it and think positive. You know, no kiss nobody's ass to get there. Earn it, because you work hard for it. You're gonna make it.
I
That
got
is
a question
magnificent.
for you, Michael. How did you get started in this? When did you know that you were meant to do what you do?
Well, I think we're all meant to make a difference. So, but usually something happens in our life that prevents that from happening. Okay. And by the way, you said you retired.
Right.
Wait a second.
12
Well, you were
years
just
ago.
telling me you were just coaching Conor McGregor the other day. So
I know, right?
you don't really retire. You're
never
still
retire.
you're doing what I do. You coach. You teach. You
So
do whatever.
I was retired, but Conor McGregor, I don't know, my name came up. He said, I want Joe Cortez to coach me. But it was a while back already, a couple of years back.
Yeah.
Before Floyd Mayweather. They said, Joe, Conor McGregor wants you to train him on the rules on boxing. So while he's sparring in that ring, they want you to be in there with him moving around. I started doing that. I got a contract for 5 weeks. He made $100 million for that fight. You know, I mean, that
Gave
was,
you half?
I wish it would have been. I would have been happy with a quarter. Julie, what brings you to this on this table here?
I'll get back to you.
You're here with Michael. Now, your husband. How long you guys been married now?
God, is it 32 years?
I think it's 34.
34.
She's just
We don't-
like me.
we don't count the
Everybody
first two.
asks me.
You forget after 30.
Yeah, exactly.
He kind of got me started with this whole thing with the self-development, and I started working for Tony Robbins because of him.
Tony Robbins. Is
Yeah.
that what, 19 what?
I started working with Tony in 97.
97.
Yeah, I started
So-
in '98.
98.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you guys together, I guess you guys must not argue with one another. You guys got you got so much
Every
up
now
here.
and then, like every day.
I know more than you. No, I know more than you, right? When you guys
Oh,
talk
no,
good.
she definitely knows more than me.
Managing your state.
No.
We know how to manage
I
our
just
state.
know what I know in the moment because I'm a guy. She knows everything because she sees everything, and she'll ask me, and I can only do one thing at a time. She gets 10. So,
Yes,
but the one thing I do, though,
Yes,
when
dear.
I'm on purpose, I'm doing it well. So
And you
there
say
you go.
yes, dear, yes, dear, yes, dear. Very good. So, Julie, so you're involved in this business now. You get to travel a lot with your husband, Michael.
Yeah, we used to, and then he retired from Tony. Now he's doing his coaching, exclusively. But yeah, I get to travel with Tony to some of the live events, and it's pretty amazing. Yeah, being seeing people transform, at the
It's fun,
conventions. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Plus, working with the top guy. I mean, we're talking, when he's on Zoom, it's like 3 million people that are on there. Now
Yeah,
it's
we
100
also
million.
do virtual events.
Yeah, now we're doing more
So we're
virtual
surrounded
stuff ever
by-
since COVID. But
Yeah.
no, but we've been all over the world and got to watch Tony on stage the whole time. And then I'm in the background doing what I do at the events. But now that I've been retired, it's just pure coaching. So it's just a privilege. I get to be at home here in Vegas and talk to people all over the world.
Well, we have you on our show. You say you got 3 million followers. We want to you get 3 million followers.
Oh,
now?
I don't have 3 million followers.
No.
No,
Yes.
I'm on the usual social media stuff, but I don't worry about that. I just coach the individuals I'm
Well,
coaching.
Tony Robbins
and they all
had that many
Well,
followers.
he
Oh, he's
has
got more
quite
than
a few.
that. Yeah, he's got more than
Yeah.
that.
That's
yeah.
great. That's great.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so important that the viewers out there get to see and
Yeah.
listen to what you guys are doing, because what we need in this world is people to think more positive and to get focused. You have to be prepared, prepare yourself mentally and physically.
Yeah.
But mentally is the most important thing, because when you get that mental block, you can't make it. Like you said, you got that athlete at MMA who seems to not believe in himself. Come on. Well, I got to talk to the guy a little bit myself. I can talk to him and tell him how
It's
he
an
is.
everyday.
For that, it's what you often do is they're usually good at something, but maybe not the thing they're working on right now, or where they're having a challenge. Like they're really great in business, but their relationship is in the toilet or something like that. So, like when I was working with Chuck Liddell, I coached him through Dancing with the Stars.
Nice guy.
Yeah,
He
great
still-
guy.
he still
But
lives in Las
not at
Vegas.
dancing.
He
Not
still
at
lives
dancing.
he still lives in Vegas. He still lives in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Huh?
But I don't know where he was at the time. But here's the point. It's we still had to take what it was that caused him to be who he was in MMA and all that mindset, because first of all, it was just like he was doing because of celeb on Dancing with the Stars. But why would you go out there and just do it? He figures, I'm going to be gone after the first win and I don't have to be embarrassed anymore.
Yeah.
But why would you do that? You know, so it was about getting him, and he got like halfway through.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
he had zero feminine energy, so he was not a dancer
He
at
got
all.
up there, moving around.
That was not there.
He was
did not
moving
have that.
around, moving around.
No.
I got to meet him with at his gym. They had a push-up contest, and I met Joey Jones, who's a contributor for Fox TV. We were together. I got to meet Chuck that day, and it was amazing how he's talked to all these kids and
Good
being
guy.
positive. And
Good guy.
Yeah.
He's a real good guy.
Really good guy. I only coach good guys. Probably you too. We only coach good guys. And women. I coach a lot of women.
Hey, Julie, now tell me a little bit about yourself with young ladies these days. What advice can you give to young ladies out there watching?
I think a lot of it, what I learned from Tony is it's just really, it's certainty. It's about just having a lot of certainty with moving forward, whenever you're talking to somebody or anything that you want to do. I have a lot of customers I talk to from all over the world, and sometimes people are unsure of themselves, but the most, especially if they're working in different environments with a lot of men. So it's just bring forth a lot of certainty, that you're very certain. And then, it kind of just automatically happens because they'll see that in you and it shows up. Certainty is a lot of really living with uncertainty.
What's happening in the world today, you have so many things out there going on in the world about males, females, females, male going into females, contest and whatnot. I mean, what advice can you give our viewers out there when it comes to that? Is it too touchy to talk about that?
No, not at all. I mean, I just kind of like, we have many different customers like that around, and I just treat them just like they're just like anybody else.
Right.
And they don't really, most of them just are afraid to talk to anybody else about it, but they know with our group, with Tony and what he teaches, they feel a little more, safe. Because we're not going to judge them. So it's really just the judgment. I try to really just constantly not judge. I mean, even though it is natural to do that, I catch myself and then I let go of the judgment. So I just really...
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that people out there got to believe in themselves. You are who you are.
Yeah.
And you keep going forward, So this is where I am, this is where I think, this is where I'm going to be, period.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it's okay, so I think it's just being okay with where you are.
Yeah, but
It takes practice.
But men going into female sports, what do you think about that?
Oh, that's I don't know. I mean, it depends on the male. I think it depends. It depends on the male, on how masculine the male is. I think because I do think that there is just some men are just naturally stronger.
Yeah,
they may not be born that way.
I saw some fights last week here in Las Vegas. The females championship fight they had on the card, they sold the show.
They did.
These girls can really fight. I mean, I put them in there against any guy.
Yeah,
and these girls were really good hard punches and could take a good punch,
Well, yeah, there's a lot of women out there that are pretty powerful and very strong.
Look at Shelly. Shelly's pretty powerful.
Yeah, she could take a punch.
Yeah, she's powerful. I don't know about taking a punch, but you can knock him out with your songs, right?
Yeah, like that. Of course you can.
Tell me a little bit about Shelly. You're talking about you were saying, Joe, I was so excited about having Michael and Julie on the show.
What happened was, Wesley and I did cruise ships for like 23 years, and we were lucky enough to meet a couple on the ship, and they're also motivational speakers as well as, I'm talking about Mark Usick and Yolanda Martinez, who have been guests on your show. And when we first met, it was the same as when we first met you and when we first met you, because Wesley and I, normally we have like a good sense of who we want to be around, and we quickly decide whether or not we like or don't like somebody. In this business, you meet so many people, but some people you're just drawn to. We don't know the reason why, but later on we find out. And so when Yolanda and Mark, they used to give like parties and motivational speeches here in Vegas, and whenever they would hire Wesley and I to be the entertainment. And that's when we met Julie and Mike. And when we met, it was the same spark, just like when we met them and when we met you and when we met them. And so we're like, these are our people.
It was meant to be.
It was meant to be, exactly. And then
funny how we thought the same thing.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Like I said, we have a small circle, here because instinctively, you know exactly who's going to be in your life, you know, who'll be there when you need them and stuff like that. And I'm so happy that they're here today. I'm so happy they came to Lola's last week. And that's how you guys met. It was the same spot, you know? It's like,
Absolutely.
Yeah, well, you know, we tell our viewers out there, you like this show, you got to please like, share, and subscribe for this show, because we had these shows going for years. I've been doing podcast talk shows for the last 10 years, easy. And I enjoy doing it. The time I took a little time out was when I got hit with COVID in 2020. And you guys know I was out for 5 months in the hospital, but you know what? I refused to take the full count. I said, I'm getting back up. I'm going to be a winner at the end. And here I am back again, back on the scene with the record machine, like saying, "Oop, Purdue," and how do you do? I'm feeling great.
That is so cool.
Michael, tell us again, what's coming up on the horizon for you?
Well, mostly the same thing, because I think I mentioned earlier, I'm going to be doing this until I can't. So I'll be on the phone someday, hopefully in my 90s or something.
You're still a young
I'll
man.
be coaching somebody, and they're going to be going, "Michael, Michael." So that's going to be it. But I do want to say something about what Julie said about certainty, because you were talking about the spark and everything you bring to the party. So it's important to know that we all have that spark inside of us. But notice how when you meet somebody, you don't always see that. And it could be for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're not confident enough to bring that spark. But then many people don't know how to bring that spark, or they don't think they're good enough to bring that spark, even though we all have it inside of them. But then there's other people that think the spark is them. And so we don't deal with people that have a big ego. You know, if it's ego, you're not going to see the spark. Now, they may be successful in life, and they may think they're great, and all that good stuff. But a lot of times you'll see sports stars, and it looks like it's ego, but then you find out later that they're helping a bunch of kids in the, in the orphans and stuff like that. And you don't do that if you have ego. You don't have time. You're too busy about yourself. But so what Julie was talking about, certainty. The people you want to be around are the ones that bring that certainty to the party. Now, that doesn't mean that they're doing it all the time, or they don't need a little help or support or whatever, because maybe there's a block to it. But when people are showing up with who they are, but mostly with an intent to contribute beyond themselves,
exactly. Like me, I retired from boxing, and people say, "You miss it?" You know, I don't miss it. I did my shit, but now it's time. I think I got to give an opportunity for young referees and for these young kids. I used to go to J. Smith Middle School and Rancho High School to go talk to. They had an office in each one of those schools.
Yep.
The dean would give me these kids that having a little problem with. He'd bring them to me. I would sit down and close the door. I would talk to them about my background, how I grew up, how I made it, come from a broken home, and staying out of gangs, out of drugs, and got into sports when I was young and kept me on the right track. And that's why I was always able to contribute to the community as far as sharing my caring ways with these youngsters. There's not enough of us out there, giving their time out. Take at least an hour a week to do something with the kids. Take an hour, 2 hours. What does it take? Nothing. So I love doing that. I love sharing my knowledge and wisdom with the kids, and I also love talking to seniors. Aww. Seniors need a lot of help as well.
Yes.
A lot of seniors out there, they're abandoned. The children abandon their parents for whatever reason. They don't call them up. They don't come visit them. We gotta start staying close to our families, brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers. They brought us into this world. We should all stick together. But there's not enough of that going on out there.
No. And if someday you ever become a senior, maybe there'll be somebody that'll come and support you.
I'm still a teenager. Still got a long ways to go.
But speaking of seniors, I think the same way, because Wesley and I do a lot of parties for like senior homes and things like that, and we love to go out and you'll see people in wheelchairs and they're sitting there, with their cover on, and they'll look down. And then as soon as we start to play the music, you can see their eyes just light up, and they're dancing in their chairs, and we love doing that. That's especially what we love around here in Vegas,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
One thing I created because I was the first one ever to create the vision screening program. And I started working for the Dr. Hadley Phillips in New Jersey, in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. And I went to work as an office manager, and he said, well, because I wanted to get in the medical field, but I didn't have the brains or the money to go to college to become anything in medical. But I saw I came to the back door and became an office manager. And then while I was there, I was telling Dr. Phillips, you got a bunch of people sitting out there waiting in the lobby for their escorts. They're waiting. You mind if I already know enough about, because I went there to learn about what's going on in the field of ophthalmology. But then he said, well, Joe, you've been following me. I've been shadowing this doctor for 2 weeks. I said, Dr. Phil, you mind if I get those people out there and bring them into one of the rooms that are empty? You give them a free screening. Screening free? Yeah, I said, yeah. I mean, you don't know what can happen. Out of 25 people I will bring in there to do free screening, maybe 10 of them had to come back for a complete eye exam. You know, a week or so later, I would bring them in. They said, you know, they had cataracts problem. Some of the seniors had glaucoma. They didn't even know they had glaucoma. Wow. Glaucoma is an eye disorder where you feel no pain. You know, I think glaucoma is like a thief in the night. It sneaks up on you. You feel no pain. When your feet hurt, you go to a podiatrist. Your back hurt, you go to a chiropractor. Your teeth hurt, you go to a dentist. Your eyes, they hardly ever hurt. But you start getting older, your vision starts getting a little blurry. And what happens, and maybe 8 out of 10 cases, is just cataracts. You got to get your cataracts removed. So I said, Dr. Phil said, Joe, these people coming back, they do need cataract surgery. Before you know it, I was doing that. Then I decided, oh, can I go out on the field and do the same thing out on the field with seniors and senior buildings and whatnot? He said, sure. So I took 2 optometric technicians with me. On the field, we get portable equipment and do the vision testing, glaucoma, just a vision test. And we had to send them, maybe out of 25, 30 of them, maybe 10 of them back to the office for a complete eye exam because they were complaining about something that they really couldn't see. I said, well, you know, the screening we done here, let the doctor do a complete ay exam. They said, you know, we was curing that, they were removing the cataract. It's a word called phakial emulsification, which is layman's term. It's an ultrasound technique. They remove your cataract. They cut the corner of your eye, and they open it open. They call it the open door. And through the same open door of the cornea, they put a little instrument, and it's phakial. It's like a vibration, and it tears up the lens that you're born with, and they remove it. And it's in the same open incision, and they put an intraocular lens in there. They pop a little plastic lens. So it's like removing a dirty window, putting in a clean window. And this senior's 80 years old. They say, wow, I can see again. Dr. Cortez. I said, no, I'm not a doctor yet. Yes, you are. I said, no, I'm one of the, I only got my technicians here. It was so rewarding because I was able to help out these seniors to get their vision back.
And that's certainty. That's because you got all that certainty.
And that's something I really love doing, you know. And that's why I love working with seniors because I know sometimes seniors, they were at home living by themselves. The television was the screen back in the old days. The screen was going like, I go back and I just adjust it for them. And I get it, man. Because they were just sitting there, just listening to them, they couldn't see it. Yeah. I will fix it for them. I tell you, I used to love to do that. I used to love to go to the seniors. I told them, can I do in-house screening? In-house screening, yeah. I used to go to people's houses. The manager said, they can't come down. Can you go up to the apartment? I would do the free vision screening at the apartment with my technicians. And before you know it, I was saving a lot of people from going blind.
My goodness.
So Saddlebrook, Patterson, New Jersey, gave me a key to the city, and the city of Cicero, Illinois, gave me a key to the city as well for saving people from going blind. So that's when I talk about being positive, helping people. That's what I love doing. People think that Joe is a rough guy because he's a referee with a fight. No, I got a heart of gold. I love helping people out there. I like to reach out there, just like you guys are doing with your business. That's why
well, I've heard of cataracts before, obviously. But I never knew any of that. I never known that they can go in and peel the eye back and put. That's amazing. Well,
the cornea is one of the fastest healing parts of your body. So when they open they do a little incision, they call it the open door. They go in there with that little instrument, and then they close it back up. Then they put a patch over the eye. 2 days later, you come back, they remove the patch over the eye, and your intraocular lens that they put in there, and now you're able to see clear again.
Yeah.
You know?
I've never known it.
Well, I know
there you go.
Yeah, I know people that have had it done, and it's amazing. They don't have to wear glasses.
Right, exactly. So maybe just for reading, some just for reading.
Wow.
Go ahead.
So how long have you been working with Tony? Because I've seen some pictures of you guys together. I think Rick might have them back there. We're going to see.
Well, ever since it's all. I was coaching, but I was also managing different businesses. I was
Okay,
an
now
executive.
that is one of his books or your books? I can't.
Yeah, that's my book.
Okay.
That's my latest book, Mastery.
Okay.
Great. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Very nice.
that was back in
that was when you wrote the
that
book.
was 20 years. No, that was 15 years ago. I don't know.
Oh, you still
Me
look
at
the
my
same.
desk. What can I say?
And there's beautiful
This is
Julie.
Julie.
Oh, that's a live
Julie on the
live
road with
event.
Tony.
I was working a live event. We used to do them here in Vegas, but yeah.
Wow.
The last one I was in New Jersey.
Yeah?
Where about?
We were in where was that again in Jersey? It's not the nicest area.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, there
Yes.
you guys go.
Newark.
That's a good
Austin,
Yeah,
the big guy. You
never
see
really.
why they call him the big guy. Yeah, right. So we're
Yeah.
tiny, but
Wow, he does look tall.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Oh, yeah. We had Thanksgiving with Shelly and Wes.
We sure did.
Mark
That's so
Yolanda.
funny. I spent Thanksgiving with you. I spent
Yes.
Christmas with you.
Well, there you go.
See, I told you
We're
all
holiday
connected.
people. We're holiday people.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
oh yeah. Speaking of which, Jill and I had a really busy week. This week we were going in and out of different events all week long. This was
That's
actually
cool.
just a couple nights ago. And actually one of our guests on Joe's show, Dan Marino, his name is. And,
Dan Montano.
Montano, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. He has this program that helps with Parkinson's and Alzheimer's
really?
and stuff, and he has what
Dementia, Parkinson's.
dementia.
I gotta watch
yeah.
that one.
Oh
I
my
gotta
God.
watch that.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
It's
very
something that's not FDA approved yet, but
Yeah.
they're working for it. They're working.
Good.
We
Wow.
had a good turnout this past Monday,
Wednesday,
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
2 days ago, a couple of days
Wednesday.
at the Durango Hotel. We had a
Yeah.
nice dinner meeting, and they were explaining everything that they're doing with these individuals suffering from Parkinson's disease, dementia, type 2 diabetes. So they think they found a cure for it, but now we have to get it FDA approved. And there's a lot of red tape. With
Yes,
that,
there is.
something that could be done in a week. It's taking these guys millions, years and millions of dollars, 10, 15, 20, 30 million dollars to get it, just to get it on the table for these guys, and they don't want to approve it yet.
Wow.
So we're looking into it to see where we can help with that.
Yes.
Well, if you're
that's
involved, I'm
brilliant
sure
people
you'll
like that.
expedite something and make
And
something.
pretty soon we're
happen.
going to, Tony and I are going to be, Dan Montana, we're going to do a show pretty soon on a healthcare medical
good.
show. Him and I are going to be
Excellent.
doing a show right here from the studio. We're going to be doing that, talking about
I
healthcare.
love that.
Healthcare. Type 2 diabetes, there's over 400 million people. Well, actually, there's here in the United States, over 200 million people that suffer from type 2 diabetes. And then you got the Parkinson's disease, dementia,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. And they think they got a cure for it. It's something with a spray into the nose, a treatment. They're able to do some treatments right now in the Virgin St. Thomas, Virgin Islands. They're able to do some treatment out there now, but they can't do the treatments here in the United States.
Wow.
So we're trying to see how we can push and get that done.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. I
Amazing.
love that. Because that's
Amazing.
So
Well, I met Tony in '97, so
97.
it was just
Yeah.
privileged. I was managing some other companies, and
Tony Robbins.
yes, and a gentleman who I knew well went out and started telling me about Tony. So there's a guy who walks on fire and all this good stuff, and I was already coaching, and while I was on the side because I was also running a company, running a company. I was an executive for somebody else, and then this guy told Tony about me, and they were restructuring, so I was lucky to be invited to San Diego in '97, and I just fit right in as an executive and eventually was vice president, and then I've been with Tony ever since, and I helped start his coaching company because I was already coaching for 20 years before that.
Wow.
So, yeah, so it all ended up that way, and here we are today, and then again, I was with him always, and we're still friends, but I'm on my own now,
That's
and Julie
great.
still works with Tony.
No, if somebody wants to reach you for coaching or something like that, like some either baseball, basketball, football, anything.
I can't
How
do that,
can they get a hold of you to be a speaker?
I'm just Michael Nitti, just
NITTI?
NITTI. I think my website is Intention Quest.
Intention Quest.
IntentionQuest.com. But really, you can just find me on Facebook. It's easier to find me on Facebook as Michael A. Nitti.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, Facebook has a lot of gives a lot of individuals like yourself an opportunity to share what knowledge and wisdom to our viewers out there, because back in the old days, 25 years ago, they had no social
We
media.
didn't have any of that.
People didn't know what was going on around the world. Now we know instantly what's going on.
Too much.
with social media. Sometimes people say, what's happening today? What's happening today was happening 10, 20, 30, 40 years ago. We didn't know about it because we didn't have the luxury of instant replay like we do now.
Yeah, and before we go, I just want to give a shout out to my husband, Wesley, who's going to be celebrating his birthday on the 7th. So we're having a party for him at Lola's. You know, we're there every Saturday night.
Just coming Saturday, tomorrow.
Yeah, that's tomorrow, yeah. See?
Excellent.
I know, I can't keep up. There's so much going on. Then also the following Tuesday, we normally perform at the German American Club, the second Tuesday of every month, and we do our Motown and More show. So we'll be having birthday party number 2. So please come to either one or the other or both. We love to see you at Wesley's birthday party.
And if you've ever seen Wesley and Shelly perform, or if you haven't, you need to come. You guys are amazing.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
And since I'm
excited.
73, almost this guy's age, that was all the music I grew up to. So it's just magnificent.
Yeah.
The Motown music.
Yeah.
Is he
Okay, we have
excited?
viewers out there. We want to tell you guys, we thank you so much for joining us today on the Joe Cortez Show. We love to have you guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our show. And you really enjoy it because this is the kind of people I bring on the show. People like Michael and Julie on the show to talk about what they specialize in. Get you guys to get a little knowledge and wisdom of what they're talking about. We like to share it all with you guys. He's our undisputed champion right here.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Remember,
Okay.
guys, we're fair, but we're firm.
Yes.
Take care. God bless. See you next week.